stream. I'm just getting some light set up here, so don't mind me. But as we wait, what's good, everybody? Welcome to everybody. It's been a while since I've done this, so yeah, I'm gonna be a little rusty, but welcome to the live stream. Today has been a very exciting day. We got the Superman teaser trailer today, and it has been a it's been a ride. It's been a ride for DC, and this trailer really got me looking forward to what's going on with DC. But I'm also gonna go over some channel updates as well. Let's see. Let's check to see what everybody in the comments is saying. Yo, what's up, Marvel fan? What's up, Carson? How you doing, my friend? Welcome everybody to the stream. I'm not gonna start right now. I'm just waiting for people to come in. But yeah, we're gonna be talking Superman. Just kind of getting your guys' thoughts about the trailer, as well as again some channel updates and just some thoughts I've had about some things that I might be doing for the channel in the coming year and things of that nature. But yeah, before we get started, how is everybody doing? How's everybody's day? What are you guys most looking forward to for the holidays? Things of that nature. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to Christmas. I mean, Christmas is, every time it comes around, it's kind of a nice time. Just a nice time to relax. You got New Year's, and hopefully 2025 will be a lot better, than this year. Maybe you had a good year. Maybe this year it was a really good year for you. This year was a little bit of a tough one for me, but I have a feeling that next year is going to be better. At least I hope it's going to be better. We can only hope. What's up, Marvel fan? I'm back. Sorry. All good, man. All good. We're just kind of getting everybody in. Maybe we'll get more people in as we go. But yeah. So I guess we could get started, and if people come in, then we can kind of talk about what we've been discussing. But so first off, I do want to talk about Superman. So I woke up early this morning around 6 o'clock, and I was like, I want to get ready. I want to make sure I get prepped for this. I already had the thumbnail done. Like I had the thumbnail done like way in advance, but I just needed the pictures from the trailer and stuff. So got done. I waited for the premiere, and then I said, you know what? Let's hit it right now. So I recorded and I did the reaction. And what can I say? I mean, the Superman trailer looks really good. I mean, it's a teaser trailer, but just so far, the aesthetic of the film looks good. I know some people are like, well, certain things look a little wonky, and I mean, it's a teaser trailer, so they're still gonna work on this movie, so that's kind of my thought. So I didn't really dig too much into that because I already know that it's gonna be July, when we get this movie, and they're gonna be working on it still. So I'm gonna give that time. Crypto really surprised me, even though I knew crypto was coming. I just wasn't sure of how crypto would look, but that really did get a pop out of me. I grew up with Crypto the Super Dog. That cartoon used to come on Boomerang. It was like after school, when I came home from school, I would always turn on Boomerang, and Crypto the Super Dog would always be on. So it was just fun to see Crypto, and then hopefully we see Streaky and all the other super pets and stuff. I think that would be cool. That would be something that we haven't seen in the DCU, or just besides the animation stuff in DC. I think that would be cool to see that in live action. So maybe we get that. Superman, I like the suit. At first I was a little inanimate on the suit in certain elements, but seeing it in film, it looks a lot better. It looks a lot cleaner, and I like all the inspirations taken from different comic runs, but also different media runs as well. In terms of some of the movies and animated stuff. So I think it's a really nice mixture of all the Superman stuff. The Fortress of Solitude, even though we kind of just saw the icicles, there is some clothes that actually show off the full Fortress of Solitude. And I gotta say, it looks very majestical. It looks very beautiful and very natural. It feels like something you would actually see Superman walk into. And I really like the design of that. We get Clark Kent in here as well. And Clark Kent, like you can't tell me that would be Clark Kent, but that would also be Superman. Like you can't tell me. It's a very different person. So I do like how Clark Kent looks, but even the mannerisms of Clark Kent are very different from Superman. Like when he walks, he hunches when he walks, and you can kind of see him like stumbling over and trying to get over people going into the the Daily Planet. So there's just those mannerisms that I caught that just felt very different. But then when he transforms into Superman, it's just like he has this aura about him. What's up, Juan? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're talking Superman, but when he turns into Superman, he just has this aura about him. He just has this glow about him that just feels different. And I love that scene, in the trailer where you see him, the girl, there's like a falling building or, stuff that's going to crash onto her. He jumps and saves her like that, right? Like, I love seeing stuff like that because that just shows the humility and humanity of how Superman really is. Like, he is about someone, about hope and justice in a brighter tomorrow. Like, he really is that kind of hero, and I love that they portrayed that. I feel like we've had iterations where Superman has become this dark element, this dark figure, and yeah, there are some dark Superman stories, in the comics and stuff. And there's been some lighthearted stuff as well. And I just feel like, this feels like a very different approach to what we've seen in the past couple of years. Now, in the animated stuff, we have had some dark stories, but we've also had a bit of a balance of some, lighthearted stuff too. But just seeing it in live action for the first time in a couple years, it just feels good. Guy Gardner, I was very like I knew Guy Gardner was going to be in the movie due to some photos I had seen. You've probably seen the photos too. But Guy Gardner, that's going to be interesting because we already have like a tie connection to, the Green Lanterns. Like we already know that they exist. Really, all the heroes, in this trailer, like Hot Girl, Mr. Terrific, which if you saw my reaction, I said Mr. Fantastic. I was so excited by the fact of seeing Mr. Terrific that I said Mr. Fantastic on accident. So it was just like a really funny moment, but I meant to say Mr. Terrific. So it was fun seeing him in there and just his shield, him shielding the bullets. Also, Lex Luthor on site. He is on site. As soon as he saw Superman flying throughout the sky, he was like, yeah, I don't like this dude. I gotta get him out of here. So I can already tell that Lex Luthor in this film is gonna come with that energy, and we're gonna see just how evil Lex Luthor really is as this corporate businessman. How far is he going to go to try to take out Superman? So that's gonna be the alternate goal, and yeah, like I really enjoyed the vibe of this trailer. Also, we're gonna get the love connection with Clark and Lois as well, and also with Superman, just seeing him levitate her and grab her when they're in, I think it's like a library or something that they're in. And just seeing that, it reminded me so much of All Star Superman, which I know that, this movie takes some parts from All Star Superman, also Superman, seasons, I think all seasons as well. And just some different Superman comic book stories that we've had, and they just bring them all together into one big thing. And I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that James Gunn is not afraid to show, the source material. He's not afraid to take elements from the source material and bring these moments and put them into one big cohesive story, which I know that's James Gunn's plan for the DCU. He wants to take these elements, from DC and from its history and bring them into a younger audience. Which I think that's why the Superman trailer is trending right now, number one. The Superman trailer is trending number one, and the teaser is trending number two right now on YouTube, which is insane. I think last time I checked, that trailer has over 10 million views right now. It might be even more now, but last time I checked, it was an insane amount of views. Everybody left and right is reacting to it. Everybody's, dog, grandma, Susie, and everybody is just reacting to the trailer. And I think this is probably the first time in a long time where people have had a trailer that is like a must see, and it really did feel like the Superman trailer is a must see. And it's going to be a must see movie because, again, this is, even though Creature Commandos is really the start of the DCU, and I'm enjoying Creature Commandos, which I will be talking about that. I have been kind of busy, so I haven't been able to talk Creature Commandos, but all I can say is I'm enjoying that show so far as it's tied to what they're doing with the DCU and just the different elements. Like, Creature Commandos feels different. The Superman trailer, from what we've seen so far, feels different. It doesn't feel like it's a part of the same cohesive theme. Like, it feels very different, which I appreciate. And the color grading. I know people have become these like color grading enthusiasts or experts now, which, I mean, people online are always going to say things. It's just always going to be like that. But what I will say is I really do like how the colors in this movie like pop out to you. Like the blues and the orange and the reds, I notice really pop out to you a lot more, and I like that. And I like that that's a artistic style because that's just going to make the movie pop even more and make it even more eye-catching because certain colors do bring out an interest in people. One of my favorite colors is blue. So blue is a color that I resonate with, and blue is a color that I use a lot when it comes to like my branding and stuff because it's just a color that is just really resonant, that resonates with everybody. So again, props to the team with that. Cinematography, I've heard, is kind of going to be based on Top Gun Maverick, which Top Gun Maverick is a really good movie. It was a really good movie, and I love the flying scenes in Top Gun Maverick, and you can kind of tell with the teaser that we got, you know, um, it does have that similarity to Top Gun Maverick and just the camera techniques that they used within the flying scenes. So that gets me excited right there. The fact that they're, taking that direction. What's up, Janine? I'm really going to watch the Superman movie first. Superman movies first, then Spider Man. Yeah. So I'm guessing you grew up with like the Christopher Reeves movies, or Brandon Routh's movie, or maybe even the Henry Cavill movie, which that's going to be a point in itself because you're already seeing the discussions with people with I'm not going to see this movie because it's not Henry Cavill. I'm not going to see this movie because I thought Henry Cavill did this better than David Corenswet. And I think for me personally, it's going to be a matter of like, give this movie a chance. I get if you Henry Cavill was your favorite Superman, like I get it. But there's nothing wrong with giving this movie a chance because you never know. This movie might actually surprise you. This movie might actually have some things in here that you like that you maybe could have wished could have happened with, the Snyderverse. And, I personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the Snyderverse. Those movies I never really connected with. To me, I just feel like Snyder wasn't who I would pick to, direct a Superman movie because again those movies just felt too dark and gritty, and it's not what Superman is supposed to be. Again, Superman has had dark stories, but I just don't feel like there was any need to set up a dark Superman, at least not right now. I think you need time to kind of build something like that up and not try to rush it, me personally. But that's kind of my thoughts. Like I said, I really enjoyed the trailer. I thought it was fun. Let's see, Solomon, you said, I wonder who was beating the brakes off Superman. Well, we did see like a dinosaur-esque kind of character. Now I do know that I think it was in one of the toy listings for the movie. It was something about a kaiju or something like that. It was some kind of like big creature. And then I know there was like a baby kaiju as well or something like that. So maybe that's what that is. It could be maybe Brainiac. I know, if you saw that scene with, Lois and Superman, you could see the pink element that we saw in the first trailer that we got. Well, not first trailer, but first poster that we got with Superman, and he's putting on his boots. there's that same little spark of whatever that entity is in the background with them, getting romantic. So we didn't know that at the time, but that was actually maybe a part of the movie. Maybe that was a scene in the movie, and maybe they just took that picture because they thought that was a very iconic thing. But we kind of got some more context to that in this trailer. But yeah, who do you think Solomon could be the one beating up Superman? Because yeah, he did look pretty beat up. He was bleeding out, and I was like, Superman, get up, man! What's going on? But I do like the fact that we do see Superman getting beat up. He's not this overpowered, person, who could just take hits, everywhere, right? Like he is someone who literally, we're gonna see him bleed. We're gonna see him take punches. We're gonna see him get drugged, throughout. Like there's a scene with the baseball field, right? This weird guy, which I know there's been, rumors out there that this guy with the all black clothing could be Ultraman or whoever this person is, or I think Ulysses, I think that's his name too. People were throwing around. We saw that guy in the trailer too at the baseball field, and he's dragging Superman throughout the field. We're gonna see stuff like that. So that again, it just adds more to Superman. He's not this overpowered being who can just block everything you know? Let's see, Carson, you said Superman OST just released on streamers. Really? Well, I'm definitely going to have to add it to Spotify because that was a really good OST. That was a really good sound song for the trailer. I love the fact that, you know, I will say, I may not have been a fan of the Snyder verse. But I will say I did like the score for Superman for that. I did like that it added elements of the Christopher Reeves, and this one added that too with the guitar, the guitar riff added that element with the Christopher Reeves theme song as well. So I love that they keeping that as a part of the recipe, if you will, for Superman in the films. It just adds more appreciation to those beginning films as well. Have you seen Creature Commandos? I have seen Creature Commandos. I just haven't been able to talk about it. I've been wanting to live stream talking about it, but I've just been so busy lately. But we can talk Creature Commandos right now if you want. But I will say I haven't seen episode 4 yet. So, anything past episode 4 I haven't seen, but I have seen episodes 1 through 3. So, I'm good on that front, but I will say I do like some of the references in Creature Commandos. So, like for example, in the first episode when Rick Flag is talking to the princess, I like that they mention about Rick Flag Jr., about what happened to him in the Suicide Squad. Because if you know, Rick Flag Sr. is supposed to be and is gonna, be in the Superman movie. He's gonna show up. He is gonna be in Peacemaker season 2. Frank Grillo, the actor, he confirmed that. He also said that at the time he was supposed to have his white hair, but he was doing a role in another show, so he wasn't able to have the white hair. So we are gonna at some point see him with the white hair. Audio short as well on YouTube. Okay, I'll check that out after the stream. But yeah, to answer your question, I have seen Creature Commandos like episode 3. The Doctor, he's the one that created the Metal Men, and I thought that was really clever and interesting that they would include the guy who created the Metal Men. Like I didn't think that we would get that. So I thought that was like really cool tie into just adding more lore to the DCU and just some things we haven't seen yet that we could potentially see. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna pay attention to this comment. Let me get you out of here. There. Don't come in my chat and be thinking that you're funny. You're not funny. Don't worry, I got that person out of here. They won't be coming back for at least 24 hours. And yes, I did time you out for 24 hours. Don't come in my stream being like that. We don't do that energy here. But yeah, also, just what are your guys' thoughts about the Superman trailer, about the DCU, about Creature Commandos, just anything in general? Like, I just want to hear your thoughts because I kind of given my thoughts. Let's see, Solomon, you say, I want to see an animated Authority series so bad. Well, I did hear a rumor about they could be changing the Authority movie to an animated movie. I did hear about that. So who knows? Maybe the Authority could be an animated movie instead of a show or a movie. I think it was supposed to be a movie though. So only time will tell with that, but an Authority show of some type would be cool. I think it will also be cool to see the Authority in live action too, especially with some of those characters. I'm not familiar with all of them, but I do know some of them. Like the engineer, like we didn't see her in the trailer, but we know the engineer is going to be in the movie if you saw the set photos. So we know she's going to be in there. Just I wonder what her role is going to be. Is it going to be very small? It could be a very small role, but we'll have to see on that. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff with the DCU. It's just a very exciting time for DC fans, and I'm happy. I'm happy for the DC you. I'm happy for the DC community because it's time y'all start seeing some wins. So it's time to start seeing DC win, and I hope that DC does bring more projects. I mean, we got a Clayface movie that's supposed to be coming. Dynamic Duo, which is about Jason Todd and Dick Grayson, an animated movie, which that doesn't come out until 2028. Like that's insane, but the amount of effort and stuff in different animation styles, it's like a mix of live action, puppetry, animation. So that's going to be interesting how that turns out. You know, we got Lanterns, they're going to start filming Lanterns next year. You know, we got apparently that is it Deathstroke? I think it's Deathstroke or Bane. It's some kind of movie with Deathstroke and Bane. Apparently that's coming. You know, we got Batman 2, which I'm looking forward to. I love the Batman. I love the Penguin. I hate that I wasn't able to continue talking about that as well because that was a really good series, The Penguin. And I know there's talks of a season 2 potentially happening, which that could be interesting, you know, depending upon what they do with the Batman 2, but they're doing things with that. You know, I'm pretty sure we're going to hear some more projects that come out of DC pretty soon. So let's see. What were you saying, Solomon? This could happen in the near future, but I want to see another superhero universe like Marvel and DC or different universes. Well, I think with Invincible, even though Invincible isn't really what you call, I wouldn't say in in terms of like Marvel DC level, but I will say like Invincible does have some characters that they could maybe do spin-offs of and maybe build a universe with that if they want to. Um I would love for Image Comics to like do something. I know that there's a King Spawn movie, like a movie about Spawn coming, but you know, I feel like there's some stuff that Image Comics could do that maybe kind of brings some new characters into the fold that maybe they could do a universe. You know, if you count Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as comic book related, because I mean, they are comic book related characters, they do have their own comics. So that's a part of the universe you could say with the Mutant Mayhem stuff. So you have that. I would have said Transformers, but I don't know what's going on with Transformers. I mean, Transformers 1 was good. I thought that was a really good movie. Transformers, the last live action one they did, you know, that was trying to build up. to Transformers and GI Joe crossover, which I know a lot of people have been wanting that for years. So there's a lot of comic book content out there that is getting started up. I mean, I literally did a video like a week ago about Mighty Mouse. An old hero like Mighty Mouse is getting a movie. They're working on it with Ryan Reynolds. So comic book content, superhero content, there's a lot of it coming, especially next year. We got Captain America Brave New World, we got Thunderbolts, we got Superman, we got Fantastic Four. I mean, it's going to be an insane year for comic book stuff next year, but also 2026 as well. So, yeah. But kind of getting back into the topic, like Superman, like, what are your thoughts on the Superman trailer? Teaser trailer. What did you like? What did you not like? What are some things that you want to see in the Superman movie? Are there some characters that you would like to see? Um, Hawk Girl, like I haven't talked about her, but like Hawk Girl is going to be interesting to see like what her whole thing is. Is she going to be a part of the Justice League? Later on down the road when we do get a Justice League. I think the Justice League might be established in this universe because it does seem like stuff has already been established at least 3 years in. And I would imagine, with Batman already having Damian Wayne in his life, like I feel like it's already established with Batman, so they're not going to go out of their way to even do an origin story for him, which is good because we've seen Batman's origin story so many times. They don't need to redo that again. So I did like the idea of them having the Bat family come onto the scene because everybody has their favorite Robin, whether it's Jason Todd, Dick Grayson. You know, there's that, and then you have Barbara coming into the mix. So again, like I just think it's a really interesting time to be a DC fan and just kind of see like this universe just kind of build out on its own. There's a Dead Man animated series, a rumored Blue Beetle animated series. We got Booster Gold, like the Wonder Woman Project Paradise Lost. Like there's just so much, and it's just insane. Like 2 years ago, we were talking about this when James Gunn did that announcement video, and all we had was just the little comic book pages of Superman from All Star Superman. We didn't have like a full concept of what the movie was going to be about. We just had that comic book panel. And just to see us finally get at least something from Superman, it just feels good, It feels good to finally see things happening. So I'm confident and I have confidence in this movie. And I think this movie is going to do really well. I really do. And I hope the movie is good. I really do. Because DC needs wins. And DC is getting wins. They are getting wins right now. So it's good to see. As someone who is a fan of both Marvel and DC, and I've just seen a lot of discourse online about that too, about the Marvel versus DC thing. And I've always said I will always be rooting for both Marvel and DC. And that's not ever changing. You know, I want Marvel to win. I want DC to win because if Marvel and DC wins, this just opens the floodgates for even more comic book content out there. This just adds more and more inspiration for other artists who want to get into the superhero realm and want to bring new stories and new characters that they come up with into the fold. And who knows, maybe those original characters, they may even get that opportunity to see those characters that they created on the big screen as well. So that just, again, I think it's a win-win for everybody when both companies win. There is no rivalry, in my honest opinion, because James Gunn worked with Kevin Feige. And I'm sure Kevin Feige probably gave James Gunn some tips. And I'm sure James Gunn has probably given Kevin Feige some tips too. So I see it as a help. I help you, you help me, you do your own thing. I'm happy for you. You doing your thing over there. I'm happy for you. That's how I see it. And again, don't be surprised down the road. Don't be surprised down the road, maybe 20, 30 years from now, we get that Marvel versus DC versus Marvel thing. That could happen. People have been asking and talking about that for years. It's a It really is. It's a possibility, but both universes have to build up to that. They don't want to rush it. They don't want to do it because it's the quickest thing and they know that would get people excited. That's something you have to build up to. Years and years of lore and good storytelling from both companies, I feel. So, yeah. But it's possible. It's possible that we may see that. I'm trying to see if there are any more comments now. Yeah, if DC is good, it opens doors for fans of Zack to get Elseworlds story with him, like the Batman. I mean, you never know. Anything is possible. As far as like Zack Snyder coming back, I mean, who you never know in this business, and I've learned this, a lot from things. When people say they never will come back to anything, don't believe that because in this business, in any other business, it's about money at the end of the day. And when money talks, money talks. And if there is a supply and a demand for that certain thing, these companies, they're listening to that. If you don't think DC is looking right now at the feedback of what people are giving for the trailer, I think you'd be sadly mistaken. They're probably looking right now at the comments. All the comments on their Twitter pages, their Instagram pages, all their social media pages. They're looking to see what people are saying. Okay, do we need to cut this out? Do we need to add a little bit more here? Do we need to do that? Do we need to add a little bit more color here? They're looking at that feedback to see what it is that people want so they can provide the best movie. Exactly, people don't realize this is basically DC's last chance to support them to eventually get what you want. Yeah, support goes a long way, and a lot of people are tuning out on DC because the whole thing with Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill. But again, you never know because like who thought that Henry Cavill was going to show up as a Wolverine variant in Deadpool Wolverine? I don't think anyone would have known that. I don't think anyone would have caught that unless you were, on set and you were there and you had to keep it secretive, then, for NDA. But even then, like, no one thought that. Like, I use this example a lot. But as someone who enjoys wrestling, if you would have told me years ago, right now, that CM Punk would be coming back to WWE, I would laugh at you. I would say, ain't no way. That guy literally hates WWE for what happened to him. But he's back. And he's been in the company for a year now. And he seems to be enjoying it. So when people say that they never would return to a certain thing, when the story is right, when the feeling is right, when the leadership is right, and when the money is right, you'll be surprised what people do. So anything is possible. I will say that anything is possible. Again, it's just up to the timing and just about how things go moving forward. The trailer blew up more than I thought. 13 million in 8 hours for a dead character. I know that it's insane. And that's what's so good about this moment is that, Superman is the bread and butter of DC. People will say Batman, he's the bread and butter. No, Superman is the bread and butter. He is the guy. Because without Superman, you don't have Batman. You don't have all the other things that, in my opinion, happen with DC. He is the guy. And so being able to see people get excited about a Superman movie next year that's coming out, it feels good because Superman has always been a character that I've always had an interest in. And growing up for me, I watched the Christopher Reeves movies with my parents. I watched the Brandon Ralph movies. I went to the theaters when I was in middle school and high school to see the your Man of Steel and your Batman for Superman and all of that, right? Like, so for me, it was always seeing these characters, but I always wanted to see them in different, iterations, different lights. What could we get differently this time around? And with James Gunn, it seems like we're gonna get something different this time around with Superman. Something that I'm sure probably fans have been wanting to see for a while now. So it's just a really good breath of fresh air, and it really does prove that point to a lot of people who think Superman's a dead character or he's this Boy Scout-ish character. That, characters like that, I think, do exist and do need to exist in the comic book realm. And I'm happy. Like I said, I'm happy for DC. I'm happy for, the trailer being a success. And I really hope that the movie is going to be a success, which I really do have a strong feeling that this movie is going to be a success. This movie could potentially be the best movie of 2025. Like we don't know, the possibilities that, are there. So again, I'm happy for DC. I really am. I'm excited to see what DC has going forward. They have a lot of things that I'm very interested in. Same with Marvel. There's a lot of things that Marvel is doing that I'm interested in. I'm just interested in the future, man. I'm really excited to see what's going on with both sides. Cause again, when both sides win, we all win as fans of the comic book genre. We all win. So yeah. But Tyreek, to answer your question, I do want to ask you this. How did you think of the Superman teaser trailer? Did you like it? What are some things that you liked? Were there some things that you didn't like? Were there some things that are maybe curious about that you would like to see? Because I feel like there might be a lot of things there that we don't really even know of that weren't in the teaser trailer that could be coming from this movie. Young Avengers animated series would be cool. Honestly, if Marvel wanted to in some way get the Young Avengers going and then try to transition them as the champions, I think that would be a really cool idea because they would have to do is just get the actors to voice the characters in an animated series, and then they can transition them to the champions. Since the actors are getting older, so that could be a very clever way of doing that. So I do like that idea, Solomon. Steve Ortega, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Do you think Snyder fans are mad about this film? Yes, I do. I do think they are mad about this film. I don't think all Snyder fans are. I think there might be some Snyder fans who might be warming up to the idea of the trailer and maybe warming up to the idea of the movie. But I do think for a large majority, I do think there is a large majority who they may be upset about the movie. They may be upset at the fact that, Henry Cavill isn't returning as Superman. You know, I see that being a possibility, and I'm sure there's a lot of discourse online about it. So, yeah, I do think that there are fans that are mad about it. They've been mad about it since it's happened, which it's a tough situation when it comes to that because, you know, DC was in so many different directions and it just didn't feel like they were structured enough to see what the goal was. What is the alternative goal that they want to set out to do? With James Gunn's DCU so far, as from what I can tell, it does feel like that there is a end goal. There is something that they are working towards, at least in this chapter. Um, I can't speak for other future chapters, but as far as this chapter, it does seem like they have set in stone certain projects, certain things they want to greenlight, certain things they want to add to the DCU continuity. So I think with the Snyderverse, if personally, if it had been a little bit more structured, and if they had gone differently with certain characters and certain ideas that they did, and not try to, and in my opinion, feel like they needed to rush, certain things, and just give it time, I feel like the Snyderverse maybe could have been something a lot different than what was given to fans. But again, you never know. We have DC Elseworlds for a reason. Anything could happen. Like I said, I'm not the biggest, Snyderverse fan. I didn't personally wasn't too fond of that universe, but I know that there are people that are, fond of it, and I just want to say, like again, you never know. Again, You just gotta support DC. You gotta support DC. You gotta support these movies. And again, anything is possible. If Matt Reeves can have his own universe where he's doing series and movies and stuff, you never know, you know? And I have a strong feeling that Matt Reeves is really going to be a big part of DCU at some point too, because he's really been involved with not just his own universe, but also just some other stuff too. I think he's a big player in the Clayface movie that's coming out sometime. So again, like DC has its players. We got James Gunn, Peter Safran, possibly Matt Reeves, maybe. So again, we'll see. See, Solomon, you said I like the trailer. I'm a little disappointed that it wasn't longer. Gotcha. Yeah, I understand. I know it was like a 2 minute and 20-second trailer. Which usually for me, like trailers should at least be at least for me personally, they shouldn't be over 3 minutes. Because if you're doing a trailer over 3 minutes, I feel like you're kind of just telling us what the movie is going to be about. You're not really giving people that curiosity of what this movie could be about and the theories that people could come up with and things of that nature. And I think this trailer did a really good job of showing you things to expect, showing you things that you could look forward to, but also showing you that there is a main story to play here, and that's Superman coming into his own and finding out what hero he wants to be. You know, he sees all these heroes, but he's trying to find out who is Superman. Who does he want Superman to represent? And we're gonna see that throughout that movie, who he wants Superman to be remembered as. So yeah, I understand your point, Solomon. Hey, what's up, DJ Knight? You saw the trailer. You thought it was great. That's awesome. Awesome. What did you like about the trailer? Let's see, Steven, you say, I saw Supergirl is filming soon and the Batman Part 2. Yes, we're getting Supergirl, which is actually kind of interesting because James Gunn mentioned, like, I think an interview this week that originally Supergirl wasn't even going to be the next movie. It was going to be something else. And I'm not sure what that something else would have been, but it wasn't going to be Supergirl. But because of the script for Supergirl, it was so good apparently that it made James Gunn feel like, yeah, this needs to be the next movie. So Supergirl is going to be the next movie. Obviously, the next show would probably be Peacemaker season 2 because we're going to get Peacemaker season 2 after Superman. So whatever happens in Superman, I'm sure will probably tie into Peacemaker season 2. You know, whatever happens with that. And then we'll probably get Lanterns like maybe after that, and then maybe Supergirl. Or Lanterns might be a 2026 release, but I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll probably get casting for Booster Gold and stuff too by next year, I'm sure. Whenever they green like that. But DC has a lot of right now, a lot of projects that have been greenlit, but also a lot of projects that have been rumored. Like Teen Titans has been rumored, which if they do a Teen Titans movie, yes. I love the Teen Titans. Again, I grew up with the Teen Titans animated series. Not Teen Titans Go, the OG Teen Titans, the good one. So for me, like I love the Teen Titans. Then it got me interested in reading the comics for Teen Titans. I have a Teen Titans comic over there by a good artist. You've probably seen his work before. George Piccolo. He does the artwork for like the Teen Titans series, and each character has like a book. You know, Beast Boy has a book, Raven has a book, then Beast Boy and Raven have a book together. I think they just released a book with Starfire, so I really love his animation style. So if DC wants to continue on the wave of, you know, having DC animation and live action, you know, switch and go in and out, if that's his plan, I would love to see George Piccolo be in charge of the artistry for that animated series because I think that would just be really cool to just see his artwork, move in motion. But yeah, I hope that Teen Titans movie does well. Uh, I hope it gets confirmed. I know they said there's rumors of it being worked on, but it hasn't really been confirmed by James Gunn yet. So hopefully that's a thing. And I could see Teen Titans coming out either before or after Brave and the Bold. But I just have a feeling it might be after Brave and the Bold because, if it could be before too, because again, with the whole Bat family, with Damien and again Jason Todd and Dick Grayson and things like that, they could do it before Brave and the Bold, but we'll have to see. But yeah, are there? This is a good question. Are there any DC characters that you would like to see a project on that hasn't happened yet? Like, is there like a? I'm trying to think of a DC character. Maybe you want Icon. Maybe Icon should have a movie. Do you want to see Static Shock? Maybe Static Shock. Maybe Zatanna. Maybe like to see her have a movie or a series or something. You know, DC has so many, characters in its catalog that if built up with this, they could really do like a full on thing where there's so many different separate stories. And I know that's James Gunn's plan is to do like separate stories. Each movie is going to have some ties to the DCU, but each movie is not going to be, you know, have the same vibe. It's not going to be a linear story. But I like that. I like that there's going to be different vibes and different thematic choices which with each movie. Let's see. David Zasloff. Yeah, most Snyder fans aren't Superman fans. Yeah, they're just Snyder fans. Let's see. Kevin Davis, welcome to the stream. He said, David Zasloff, listening to shareholders, Warner Brothers films have to make a profit at the box office. They will need to get sold again. Yeah, and that's why I think Superman is going to be a big player in this. And that this is why Superman needs to succeed, not just for DC's sake, but for Warner Brothers' sake. Because if not, who knows? I don't want to look at it from that perspective, but what if Warner Brothers just feels like DC just isn't profitable and they just don't do any more films? I mean, it could come to that, and I don't want that. I know you guys don't want that. So that's why this movie, for a lot of people, they're banking on this movie to do well. Warner Brothers and DC and James Gunn and everybody involved is banking on this movie to do well. It needs to be a successful movie because there's so much at stake that honestly we just don't know about. I like Go Teens. Well, when I get a chance to see them, I've been watching MeTV Tunes Wonder Woman. Yeah, the old school Wonder Woman cartoons and stuff. Like yeah, my I watch those all the time on Boomerang. So I love those old school. That's just one thing with DC anyway. DC, for the most part, certain things I do feel like animation wise, I do feel like there has been some not so good things, but for the most part, DC animation wise has always been good in terms of just storytelling and stuff. Let's see, you said Cyborg or Martian Manhunter. That would be really cool. Would love to see a Martian Manhunter project, and Cyborg as well. I feel like Cyborg is a character. I mean, we saw him in Zack Snyder's universe, but I feel like they really didn't use Cyborg or give him the story that I felt like he needed to be given. Obviously, with the extended version of the Justice League movie, we did get that, but I feel like there was so much more they could have done with Cyborg. And just the Martian Manhunter tease at the end. So I definitely see Martian Manhunter. If we're getting lanterns, about the space cops, Martian Manhunter is definitely out there. He's definitely out there somewhere. I liked it, but I'm nervous. All good. All understandable. Like I think it's 70% good views and 30% bad. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like this movie could be really good or it could not be. So it's a gamble, and that's why again, like I feel like this movie is a big thing for DC. Like it's a so much stakes are being built onto this movie, and I just hope it's just done right. I want it to be good. I really do want it to be good. Let's see. Okay, so James Gunn greenlit a Clayface movie. It's going to be a horror and tragedy. Yeah, a horror tragedy. A horror thriller tragedy. I think that's what they said. So that's going to be interesting. Um, if you saw in the trailer of Creature Commandos, we already seen what Clayface looks like. So I wonder what that's going to be enticed to. Are we gonna see like him maybe discuss Batman at some point? Is are there gonna be some other heroes that face off with Clayface at a time? So that's something we'll have to see. As far as the tragedy part, Cyborg, yeah, a lot of people saying Cyborg. I agree. Cyborg is a character that I feel like is very underutilized. That I would love to see being brought in the forefront. If we're getting Mr. Terrific, I would hope we get Cyborg. I don't know if they'll ever do it though, but I would love to see a Mr. Terrific and Cyborg movie. Of them going on some kind of mission together. I think that would be really cool. But I don't think they'll do that though. It's the biggest gamble. Yeah, it is. It is. It's a big gamble for them. And they really do have to sell and market this movie as a big selling point for the DCU. I mean, obviously, Creature Commandos is the start, and Creature Commandos so far for a lot of people, I'm hearing is pretty good. Like I said, it's good for me. I've watched the first 3 episodes. I haven't seen episode 4, and I know it came out today, so I haven't watched it yet. But I am going to probably after the stream, so I'll kind of give my thoughts about episode 4 in another stream. But again, Superman is the movie. This is the movie that they have to really bank on and market and say, like, if you're going to appeal this movie, you have to appeal it to the younger audience, but also the older audience too, because a lot of older audiences grew up with different Superman iterations. Some of them grew up with Reeves. Some of them grew up with, Ralph. Some of them grew up with Cavill. Some of them grew up with the TV show Supermans, with like Smallville and things of that nature. So Superman and Lois, that just ended, which I'm hearing Superman and Lois had a very tear-jerking ending. So maybe I'll have to check out Superman and Lois because I haven't watched it yet. But something I did get an interesting vibe of. I did get a My Adventures with Superman vibe just a little bit from the trailer, which I love My Adventures with Superman. I think that's a really clever show. And honestly, I think My Adventures with Superman was a really good breath of fresh air from the dark Superman stuff that we've been getting. So, shout out to Jack Quaid for voicing Superman in that series. I've seen some fan art of Jack Quaid as Superman, and it honestly looks a little silly, but I could see just a little bit. But yeah, the tragedy part, yeah, whatever the tragedy part of that is going to be, I guess maybe his backstory. Maybe we're gonna get something with his backstory. I think the trailer will win over older Superman fans for sure. So that's good money wise. Yeah, definitely. And I honestly don't be surprised if we get another trailer during the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl is a big time for all trailers. Marvel, DC, other companies, they're going to try their best to get in that Super Bowl slot because they know they want to sell. That's a big selling point for them to sell these movies. So, again, don't be surprised if we get another trailer for the Super Bowl. I definitely see it happening. My favorite part of episode 1 of Creature Commandos is Rick Flag, Senior fighting Dr. Phosphorus. It's funny. Yeah, it is funny. And that's a really good fight scene, by the way. A really good fight scene. But Dr. Phosphorus is definitely he's definitely a favorite character. For me, my favorite character has to be G.I. Robot. And unfortunately, GI Robot is no more, and that really saddened me last week because I just think GI Robot's the MVP. But who knows? Maybe GI Robot can return in some way. If this Sergeant Rock movie is a thing, you know, maybe we could see GI Robot pop up in that. Maybe a flashback or something. So, because we did see Sergeant Rock in that episode as well. The Superman name, along with James Gunn's name, can carry the movie. Yeah, for sure. Because people know James Gunn from, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Suicide Squad, and just some other movies he's done throughout his career, as a director. So definitely. And Superman, I mean, Superman's a given. Superman, if you were to think of, like, maybe four or five, superheroes that come to mind for people say Superman, Spider Man, Batman. Some would probably say Wonder Woman, and then depending upon who you are, maybe Iron Man or maybe Wolverine. Nah, maybe more Wolverine. It depends. It depends on your top five of like most memorable or most notable or popular superheroes. But Superman is like top three in like everybody's list because he's just that iconic. He's been, Superman has been around for a lot longer than most of us. There's a lot of history there. Even Batman, like Batman has been around for 85 years. 85 years. That's insane to think about. And Superman, he's been around for I think a lot longer too. Maybe I think so. Just knowing that there's just a lot of rich history with those characters that people want to see explored, and I think we will be able to see with James Gunn because he has such a love for DC. He has such a love for the comics, and you can tell that just by his research and just by him posting stuff about comics um, on his social media pages. So we're definitely going to be seeing that. And I'm already seeing, like, on Twitter, I've seen the threads of people like listing off the references and Easter eggs in the trailers for like different heroes and different comic book references from the comics and stuff. So again, it's just really fun to see people you know dive into those like references of the source material because it brings newer fans into the wanting to read the comics. I'd say maybe for a lot of us, our first, introduction to these characters might have been from the movies, from the cartoons, from the TV shows. And, it helped us want to explore and discover these characters even further by trying to learn the source material with the comics. Maybe you asked a cousin, like, hey, or maybe you went to your nearest comic book store and said, hey, what's the best Superman run? Some will probably tell you All Star Superman. Some will probably tell you, Superman for all seasons. And that's how people dive more into that history. So when they go to the theater or they look in the trailer and they see moments with Superman helping a kid who maybe wanted to take his life, when you see Superman talking that kid down and telling him, you are worth something, you have something to offer in this life. When you see moments like that, it's a heartfelt moment, but it's something that because you're used to seeing it, in the comics. So when you see in the comics, you see on the big screen, it just feels good because there's someone else out there who was thinking what you were thinking, as a viewer, but also as an enjoyer of the comics. So it's just a bigger love and appreciation for just superhero media. I love that superhero media is not afraid to show, the source material and just be proud of it. And I hope that going forward, Marvel and DC both continue that wave of, showing people the source material and showing people different things that have happened in the comics and get them familiar, but also get them their minds into wanting to discover more and more. So, yeah. overall, like I said, I enjoyed the DC teaser trailer. Um, I was so happy to see Crypto. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the trailer was just seeing Crypto, because again, I grew up with Crypto the Super Dog, the cartoon. So just seeing Crypto on screen like that, helping Superman up, dragging him by his cape, it felt so good. So it's gonna be great to see the bond and relationship with Crypto, with him and Crypto. Even maybe we get a little bit of a backstory with Crypto. How did he, what happened to him? Did Lex Luthor experiment on Crypto? Did he come from another planet? Like, I hope we get some, they don't have to do a whole origin story, but, just some context as to, how did he, this dog become Crypto? So yeah. And I know there's a scene, you probably maybe you've seen it on set where there's a scene with Mr. Terrific and he has like dog treats in his hand. And so now we know what he was doing. So he was apparently feeding dog treats to Crypto. So there's even going to be that. Like, how does he interact with other heroes? There's a few guys aiming to be Slade, Wilson, Deathstroke. Yeah, I did hear about a Slade. I did hear about like a Deathstroke and Bane project that they're doing, but I could definitely see Slade coming in at some point too, because Slade is a very popular. I say he's for me. My first recognition of Slade for probably for most people was like the Teen Titans cartoon, and Slade he did not play in that cartoon, so it would be fun to see Slade on screen. So again, so many different villains and stuff. I mean, even in Creature Commandos, like when GI Robot is in jail, like we do see different comic book villains that Wonder Woman has faced, that Superman has faced, that Batman has faced, and locked up. So again, that just adds more and more lore and more seeds to be planted for potential villains that we could see face off with the Wonder Woman, face off with the Superman, face off with the Mr. Terrific, face off with these different characters. So again, I'm excited. I get more and more excited just thinking about the possibilities that of things that we could see, and it's all thanks to again the source material. There's so much rich source material out there, and characters in this catalog. Um, that yeah, I just really hope that this DCU is good. I really, really hope that this DCU is good. And so far with Creature Commandos, and so far with this teaser trailer, it has been good. But I have a feeling this time is going to be different. I just have a feeling this time DC has the right recipe. I really do feel that way. And I think you said is that Crypto you were saying in her pre-crisis something about a pre-crisis look or more of his Silver Age look. I think it has pre-crisis on Infinite Earth. Yeah, James Gunn. I think he said that he took inspiration from his dog that he has. It gave him inspiration to do a more. It gave him inspiration to do more of a classic comic look for Crypto because he looks very accurate to what he looks like in the classic comics, which I appreciate. Because to me, even if I had not known that Crypto was going to be in the movie, Crypto would have already been like very recognizable for me. Because again, like I said, I grew up watching the cartoon, so but we'll have to see. Let's see. DC just needed a gun. Yeah, I think so. They needed someone who, again, who loves the world of DC and has a plan and is trying to set in stone a plan for DC. DC's needed that for a while. They just haven't. been structured. There hasn't been anything wrong with DC. It's just they just haven't had the right person to structure and give a definitive plan. But now that they have a definitive plan, I feel like things are going to be different this time. Let's see, Carson said, I'm not a fan of the dog, shocking, and Superman, but we'll wait until the final product in July 2024. I meant 2024. 2024 is about to pass. 2025, just hope for a great Superman movie. And all good. And all good, like, understandable. Because, I have seen some people say, like, Crypto does look a little off in some scenes, especially when he's like grabbing at Superman, like it does look a little off. So I definitely understand. But yeah, I hope that seeing that feedback, hopefully James Gunn and the people at DC just keep working on Crypto, because I still feel like that might be still a earlier version of Crypto. I hope that isn't how he looks in the final product. I think he'll be a lot smoother and a lot cleaner. But for right now, as far as like early draft, maybe not early draft, but kind of like an early preview of him, I think that's kind of just what they were going for. But I feel like the way he moves and stuff, I think will change over time. I hope. And you're right. I hope for a good Superman movie too. And for some reason, I just have a feeling that this Superman movie is going to be good. I just have that feeling. Yeah. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Right. Need that Teen Titans live action though. I hope we get it. I really do hope we get it because again, Teen Titans are popular characters. So if you want to bring the younger audience in, you already all you have to do is say Teen Titans, and people are already on board because people love the Teen Titans. Kids love the Teen Titans. I will say this, even though I don't like Teen Titans Go, I just think the show is just, to me, it's a downgrade of what the Teen Titans represent. I will say that with Teen Titans Go being on for so many years, there's going to be a lot of kids and a lot of teenagers who grew up with Teen Titans who are going to be at least familiar with the name Teen Titans. So when they see Robin, they automatically know who Robin is. When they see Raven, they automatically know who Raven is. When they see Beast Boy and Starfire and Cyborg, and who knows, maybe Blue Beetle might be a part of the team. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Static Shock. There's so many different characters they can maybe potentially add to a different team this time around if they wanted to. I'm interested in hearing about DC games. Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, James Gunn said in the plans that there are going to be plans for DC. And, as much as I love, as much as cool as Batman is, I feel like it's time for them to move away from just doing Batman games. We've had almost a decade and a half of doing Batman games. It's time to get a Superman game. Let's get there's so many characters. A Green Arrow game. People would love to see a Green Arrow game. That's been highly requested. There's so many different heroes again in the catalog they can do games for. And if they want to connect it with the DCU in some way, they can. That might also be a cool way to kind of connect some things and tell some stories on the side that they may not be able to in, live action or animation, or maybe they just want to give, fans and, people who love video games that experience to explore the DCU in such a way that feels immersive. So again, a lot of great opportunities that they can do with the DCU and even the gaming division for DCU. And I hope they get that going because, I don't know what's going on with the Wonder Woman game. I thought maybe we were going to hear something about it this year. It seems like they're still working on it. So hopefully we hear something soon. I know that in that conference call that Warner Brothers did a while back, they said they were going to be focusing on DC, but primarily Batman, which again, I'm like, I get, but DC needs to focus on other characters in games. Crypto could be the Rocket of DC, maybe if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, he could be. He could be, or like a Groot, or I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of another character like Cosmo. If you've seen the Marvels, Cosmo the dog, like he could be an entity like that. Let's see. With Gunn putting his foot in this, that Batman may feel off watching it. Yeah, yeah, that's true. And that's why I hope that if they do Brave and the Bold, that they get someone who like really understands the character of Batman and really does like a different twist on Batman that maybe we haven't seen yet. Because again, if this is an older Batman and this is an established Batman who already has a Bat family, I want that movie to feel mature, and I want that movie to feel like we've grown with this character. Like we're at an age now where a lot of us have already grown up. I want that Batman to feel like we've grown up with him. With let's see, this will be a throwback to these with this Superman. Yeah, yeah, Christopher Reeves. I mean, again, rest in peace to Christopher Reeves. And like I said, I enjoyed the first two Christopher Reeves Superman movies. The Superman 3 and 4, I just I tuned out because those movies just aren't good, like even on a like film wise, like they're just not good. Like there's literally a scene in the third movie where Superman's like dropping down onto a car and you can literally see the strings of Superman when he drops down. And it's like like who decided not to cut this in post? Like why was this okay? Like it was just so disappointing. And I went back and rewatched the, Superman Christopher Reeves movies recently. And the first two I enjoyed. Like, I think Superman 2 might be my favorite. Like, I love the first Superman movie. But the second one might be my favorite just in terms of the character development in that one. Teen Titans needs to be mature though. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I agree. Teen Titans does need to be mature because there's a lot of dark elements and stuff with Teen Titans that they could dive into. Yeah, Raven. Is Raven your favorite character, DJ Knight? Raven is an awesome character. Love Raven. Let's see. I hope Blue Beetle will be in the Teen Titans lineup for the live action Teen Titans movie. It might make it a Young Justice a bit, though. Yeah, that is true. That would make it like Young Justice. But who knows? Maybe they could build to that because, if this universe has already built up its Justice League, I don't think it would be too much of a bad thing to have like a Young Justice on the side. But again, that would kind of take away from the point of Teen Titans. So maybe if they do a Teen Titans movie, they give it a couple years to do like Teen Titans, and then when they get older, they go to maybe Young Justice or something, or maybe they have to take up the leadership of being the younger Justice League, for a time. There could be something that they do. See, Raven played by Jenna Ortega. Starfire, don't know who to cast for her. Yeah, I don't know who would play Starfire. That is a good thought. Blue Beetle needs to be in the Teen Titans 100%. Yeah, for sure. We need a Superman game before another DC IP game. Yeah, yeah, we definitely do need a Superman game. I feel like it's been long overdue. It's been very long overdue. Watch when they bring in Icon and Static. I hope they do. I hope they bring in Icon and Static because I would love to see them. Especially Static. I grew up with Static Shock. I love Static Shock. So it would be great to see Static on the big screen. Wonder Woman game, I see it being a 2026 release. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Richard Pryor couldn't even save it. And you know what's sad? I wanted to like the movie because Richard Pryor was in it. But Richard Pryor was just too goofy in that movie. It was like, why was he here? And then like the thing about it, like I looked up the villain character that they had for the movie. He wasn't even like a DC character. Like they just made like a made up villain. And I'm like, Why did you do that? Like, you couldn't have chose like another Superman villain for Superman to face off with. It was just kind of like they brought back Lex Luthor and they did a whole thing with that, and it was just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? So, like, I was contemplating to even watch the fourth movie, and I watched the fourth movie, and I just couldn't even get through it because I was just like, so, like, what happened? Like, you had Superman 1, which was just good. It was so good. You had Superman 2, which is really good in certain elements with adding character development with Superman, but also him like trying to find his balance between being Clark Kent while also being Superman. Um, like that scene where I think they went to like a diner, and he's in there with Lois, and the guy kind of like is like trying to be rough with Lois, like he's like being really rude to her, and he's like, well, he takes off his glasses and he's like, you can step out. Would you care to step outside? And the guy doesn't take him seriously, but no, Clark is literally like, do you care to step outside and take care of this business? And then you see like he beats, Clark, and you see the blood dripping from him, and he looks at the blood and he's like, "Oh, snap, I have not felt this before. I'm bleeding. Like, what is going on?" So I love that they had like that element. They had that element. It's a really funny part in the movie. But I love that they had an element of like, no, like he's seeing like, no, I'm not this like immortal person. No, I'm legit bleeding. I could literally get taken down. So, and we're kind of seeing elements of that in the trailer with Superman bleeding too. Like, I wonder what, like, again, they're not making Superman this overpowered god or something like that. Like, they're literally showing he is this human at the end of the day who is a alien, but he has human characteristics and he does bleed like every other person. So, yeah. The Titans on HBO was decent. I haven't seen the Titans show. I do need to watch it, but I haven't seen it. Let's see. Some DC fan. Let's see. Janine, you said I'm watching Channel 7 News right now. Oh, awesome. Let's see. Some DC fans want Wally West to be the Flash in the DCU. I agree, but I think you could start him off as Kid Flash. They also do need to give Barry Allen another chance. Yeah, I have been seeing people say Wally West should be the Flash. So yeah, I do feel like they do need to start him if they want to introduce him. They could start out with Flash and then maybe introduce Kid Flash. And Kid Flash, maybe the Flash is already established. We don't really know if he is, but I have a feeling Flash has probably already been established in that universe. So if they want to have maybe Kid Flash and then maybe do like sort of a thing where we see the actual Flash and they have sort of like maybe a team up or some kind of mentorship where he teaches Kid Flash, his powers, the extent of his powers. I think that would be a nice way to kind of be like a passing of the torch, but we still get, adventures with Barry Allen as well. And maybe some adventures with, Wally West and Barry Allen as well. But yeah, he got him good in that movie. That's such a funny moment. Me too. I got, yeah, Richard Pryor. Yeah, we got Mr. Terrific. I can't tell you how happy I was to see Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific has been a character that I've been wanting to see in a DC. I mean, we got him in one of the shows, the CW shows, but seeing him on the big screen, it felt so good. Cause I've been reading on some Mr. Terrific stuff lately, and it's just really interesting to see, you know, this guy like have all this like intelligence, but he's able to create certain things, and he's just like really intelligent. So hopefully after Superman, maybe they could do like the Terrifics, with have a group of other Terrifics behind him, and they maybe assemble a team, or maybe just keep Mr. Terrific on his own right now, if they want to. Oh God, not Zod. Oh God, Not God, Zod. Yeah. I like his stand up where yeah, Richard Pryor he is a legend. He's an all-star for sure. Shout out to Richard Pryor. Glad he had a grand stand up. Yeah, he had a great stand up. I think Richard Pryor for me, he's definitely one of my favorite comedians. Bernie Mac, Dave Chappelle, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, um, uh, like Chris Tucker. Like I love comedians. So when you're a funny comedian, but you're a storyteller at the same time, it just makes it even better. And that's the fun thing about being, seeing comedians. Certain comedians are just funny. They're just downright funny. They can tell a story, and you're like, wait a minute, I know where this is going. And then they hit you in a completely different direction that you didn't expect. And it's like, whoa, I didn't see the story going there. But it's so funny the way that they tell it. So yeah, shout out to the comedians out there. I think it's Wally's time just say Barry and the Speed Force. Yeah. Who's more skilled than Zod? Zod needs his own book. I'm actually surprised Zod doesn't have his own book. His own comic book. I like Lex Luthor. Well, Janine, did you like Lex Luthor in the trailer? Wait, we got breaking news? Hold on a minute. Yeah, it was terrific. No, not Zod. We got breaking news. What's up, Carson? Murphy, baby. Oh, yeah, I can't forget Murphy. I can't forget Eddie Murphy. I can't forget Eddie Murphy. Supergirl begins filming early January. Okay, you heard it here. Supergirl begins filming in early January. I'm looking forward to that. I just started reading Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow too. So this is gonna be it's gonna be fun getting a sort of a refresher when that movie comes out. I'm disappointed that they killed off Gambit because in X-Men season 2 we could have got how long I've been waiting for this. I think Gambit will come back. He'll come back, but he'll come back as deaf. But I think there might be a way for him to come back at some point. Yeah, shout out to Carson, man. Thank you for that news, Carson. I think Millie Alcock. I think that's her name. I think I'm saying it right. I think she's gonna do a good job as Supergirl. I've seen her in some other things that she's in. I think she's gonna do a good job. Who do you think has enough skills to take on Zod? That I don't know, because like I said, I'm dabbling into I'm dabbling into like DC, but I don't know too much about DC. But if you like I said, if you guys have any comic suggestions for DC that you want me to check out or read, let me know because I definitely do want to dive more into some DC comics and stuff. Do y'all think the fire breathing monster in the trailer is Doomsday movie style? Doomsday, he could be. He could be. I'm still curious about what that pink entity is in the sky is. If you remember, we got that first trailer that, not first trailer, but the first poster that wasn't that good of showing off like just what the vibe of Superman was. We saw that pink blasting entity in the sky. It could be Parasite, it could be maybe Brainiac, but we saw it again in that teaser trailer with Superman and Lois, and they're having that romantic moment. We see it in the background then. So I am curious about that fire breathing monster. Where did that come from? Is that something of Lex? Did he create that? Is that some entity from space that's gonna come down? I'm curious about that too. I want to see live Wire, maybe Parasite. I think we could see Parasite. I think we could see Parasite at some point. But what do you think? Do you think is that maybe from space? Do you think it's from you know Do you think it's maybe Lex? I like when Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck were in Superman. They did. I do remember, like, obviously, like, um, they did like a crossover for Looney Tunes. I think I was gonna get that shirt too. I have on my Looney Tunes and Scooby Doo shirt on, but I think they did do like a shirt or like a crossover with the superheroes. Like, I think Bugs Bunny was Superman. I think Daffy was Batman. Obviously, Lola was Wonder Woman. I think Wile E. Coyote was Cyborg. So that was kind of cool that they did like the little crossover like that. Read Batwing, Green Lantern, and the new Batman. Is it you talking about Absolute Batman? I have been hearing good things about Absolute Batman. So I will check that out. And thank you for those comic suggestions. I'll have to put those down in my notes um, and try to check those out. So thank you for that. The pink entity could be Brainiac's technology. Yeah, it could be. I'm thinking it's Brainiac too. At first, I also thought it was Cersei because with Creature Commandos, she does have like a pink power. Her magic is like a pink purplish power. So at first, I almost thought it was her, but I don't know if she's going to make it out alive because there is an Easter egg with Cersei in Creature Commandos. You can see on her mugshot, she's holding Metropolis. So she was arrested by Metropolis Police Department. So there, we might have even had a interaction with Cersei and Superman at some point. Yeah, it was a Looney Tunes show. Yeah, because I think Daffy's like a superhero, like Super Duck, and he's like Duck Dodgers. For some reason, Daffy loves to be either a space missionary, or superhero. At some point, Bugs has been a superhero too. I think. What will the DCU batsuit for Batman look like? I hope blue with the logo, like the Rebirth logo with white eyes. For that, I hope that they do the blue. Either blue and gray or blue and black because I've always like had an interest in that suit and that's something we haven't seen. We've seen it in the animated stuff, but we haven't uh-oh, my bad. We haven't seen it in live action, so that hopefully that's something that we do see at some point. The fire breathing monster could be a mutant created by Lex Luthor or Brainiac, or could just be alien. Yeah, it could be either one of those. Yeah, my phone is buzzing. I have a phone call, so I'm probably not gonna be on for too much longer. But I did just want to come on and like chat the Superman stream and DCU stuff, and we'll be doing more stuff, which I kind of will. I'll get into that now. The channel updates that I kind of want to give. Next year, we're going to be doing some more content like this. We're going to be doing some more Marvel and DC stuff, and I'm going to try to branch out into other different things. So I'm going to still be talking animation. Like, animation isn't going anywhere. I love cartoons, I love animation. And that's the heart of this channel. That's the heart of what I do. So that's not going anywhere. And like I said, we're just gonna be talking Marvel, more Marvel, DC stuff because there's some exciting stuff coming in that alley too. So I'm excited just for that, and I hope you guys can stick along the ride with me. This probably will be my last live stream and video that I do in 2024 because I kind of just want to take a break. But I'll be back either January 1st or 2nd. I'll be back. I got a lot of exciting ideas for that. My phone is ringing again, so I probably should head off in just a few. But yeah, okay, good. I know nothing bad happened. Yeah, everything's all good. It's just a little bit of a structuring of the channel. It's just gonna change just a little bit. But it's still gonna be the same channel you guys know and love. Nothing's changing. I'm still gonna keep doing the same content. But again, I just gonna be taking a break and stuff. But yeah, I appreciate all of you for coming into the stream. And I'll be doing more streams like this in the new year. I'm gonna be doing more streams for sure, chatting it up with you guys because I love the conversations we have. And I just want to say thank you for being supportive of me, throughout this year. It's been a really hard, difficult year for me. I've been through a lot, but you guys have really helped me. And I hope that we grow more. I hope that we get more people coming in, more positivity and all that stuff because it's just been a good time. So again, thank you so much. I hope you have a good, rest of your week. Happy holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, holidays, or you don't celebrate the holidays, I just hope you have good days ahead and a good 2025 coming your way. Again, I'll be back in 2025. I'm not going anywhere. And thank you so much for tuning into the stream. For everybody that came through, thank you. As I always say in every video, be good to yourself, be good to others. Anything that you want to do in life, go for it because you never know where it may go. And yeah, big love to you all, and peace out.